Okay, so your topic is, for your first topic, it's going to be your culture and your community. For my objectives for today, it's simple. I just would want you to understand the different culture, values, and beliefs of Filipinos when it comes to health, because it is very important for us community health nurses to be able to recognize their different values and beliefs, as you will know why in a bit. Okay? Now, to start this, I'm going to first define what culture is. Pag sinabi nating culture, a culture is a set of beliefs, values, and assumptions about life. Usually, a culture is held amongst a group of people, and in this particular instance, this is our community. Now, these beliefs, these values, your culture is usually transmitted intergenerationally, meaning namamana po ito. This is passed down from your ancestors, from your elders, up to you. So even if during your year, even if you are already studying in the College of Nursing, I often hear or see things that actually stem from what has been passed down as beliefs from your elders. Okay? So we will be tackling that in a bit. Sir, ano ba yung values? Ano po yung beliefs? Okay. Pag sinabi nating values, values are simply abstract rules. Okay? Abstract rules that people apply to many life experiences. Now, what you must remember is that values can affect the behavior and character of a person, because these are the things that is going to influence your morals. You, when as a person, when you use your values, you directly relate it to your everyday life. Diba? For example, you value loyalty. So, what do you do when you value loyalty, di ba? You do not text anybody else, etc. You value compassion. So, what do? You always try to help out other people, di ba? Oh, whereas yung beliefs, pag sinabi nating beliefs, these are assumptions, right? Assumptions that people hold true regardless of whether they are supported by hard, cold, factual facts. Kuha nyo? So kahit walang evidence, pinaniniwalaan nyo pa rin yan. You hold it true regardless of whether there is evidence for it or not. Usually, beliefs are deeply rooted in religion. For example, if you are a Roman Catholic like me, you believe that, diba, God created the heaven and earth. Jesus rose on the third day. There is what they call a blessed trinity. Yun yun, beliefs. Kung papatunayan mo ba yun? Hindi. Pero pinaniniwalaan mo pa rin siya. Okay? Yung values naman, what you value, what you hold dear. Yan. Okay? So, speaking of values and beliefs, we as Filipinos, we have this in general. Okay? Haven't you noticed, it is very, very hard for Filipinos to accept mental illness. It is very hard to accept uh, among Filipinos the concept of depression. It's very hard for us to accept the concept of illness. Diba? Bakit ba? What is with Filipinos that makes us uh, that makes those particular concepts really hard to accept for us? Una, tiyaga. We Filipinos are known as matyaga. We have patience and endurance. Tama? So, as Filipinos, we have the innate ability to tolerate uncertain situations. Kahit hirap ka na, chill lang. Di ba? Lagi kong nakikita sa mga posts, shared posts, sa mga memes, Lavarn, Lavarn. Di ba? That's actually what shows that you have patience and endurance. Kahit hirap na hirap ka na sa nursing school, yun pa din. Okay? It also shows that you have lakas ng loob. Okay? Moreover, we we endure because we are quite flexible. Flexible not in terms of how far you can stretch your body part, but flexible in terms of you could actually adjust to any situation. Tama? Oh, what else? As Filipinos people, we find good use of our humor. Diba? Tinatawanan niyo lang ang inyong problema. You laugh at yourself in times of adversity. Oh, bagsak ako. Tawa ka lang. Diba? So, may magandang effect yun. It's going to result into a more positive attitude, which is going to help you accept what needs to be accepted. Diba? So, tawanan mo na lang ang inyong problema. At worst comes to worst, pag hindi na talaga kaya ng tawa at ng dasal, we resign to fatalism, or we have this fatalistic resignation. Bahala na. Because you were brought up knowing that illness and suffering is unavoidable. If you have been brought up like me, di ba? You know that it's the will of God and we should not interfere with it. Di ba? What may, bahala na. Okay, yun yun. Ipasa Diyos na lamang ang lahat. Yun ang Pilipino. That is the reason why sometimes Filipinos are very hard to care for. Okay? Kasi meron tayong mga ganitong attitudes, beliefs at values. Okay. Talking about health and the culture of Filipinos, we have different self-care concepts for Filipinos. Ano bang meron sa Pilipino? Okay? In terms of self-care. Pag sinabi kong self-care, it's when you seek medical advice. Who do you seek medical advice from? Tayong mga Pilipino, we usually seek medical advice from our elders. Tama? If there are somatic symptoms that arise, if you experience symptoms, we usually ask our elders what it is. We usually ask them what to do next. Oh, kung ayaw nyo pong maniwala, kayo ganyan. Bago kayo magpa-check up, magtatanong muna kayo sa nanay nyo, sa tatay nyo, sa friends ninyo. O two, magpapasama kayo pag nagpa-check up. Ganun kasi ang Pilipino. Diba? Another, we usually seek the advice of our friends from the medical field. Aminin nyo, nung kayo ay first year, TFN pa lang, nalaman ng mga kapitbahay nyo na ikaw ay nagno-nursing. Tinatanong ka na niya agad kung ano ang normal na BP, i-BP mo daw siya. May mga ganun. Di ba? Kasi ugali ng Pilipino yun. Okay? So we usually ask medical advice from family members or friends who are health professionals. Oh, we usually ask the advice of those elderly. Okay? What else? Another important concept among Filipinos is balance or balance. Okay? According to Philippine beliefs, um, rapid shifts from cold to hot then to cold would lead to illness. That's the reason also why yung mga matatanda, ang gusto nila lagi, warm ang environment because it is rooted on their belief that a warm environment supports optimal health. Pero you, with your knowledge in microbiology, ba, pag medyo warm, pag medyo hot ang environment, medyo nagta-thrive ang mga organismo. Tama ba? Also, papagalitan ka ng nanay at tatay mo, ng lolo mo, pag uminom ka ng iced coffee sa umaga. Because according to them, because of this concept of balance, cold drinks or cooling foods or malamig, bawal ka daw kumain ng ice cream sa umaga. Kasi it could lead to illness. Oh. Okay? What else? We also believe that init lamig is equals to sakit. So, ano ang ibig sabihin nun? When your body is overheated in the sense that you have a high body temperature, you are vulnerable to disease. So, a heated body can get shocked down into illness. Diba? Tapos naman, if you cool it too quickly, it could cause illness. What you must remember based on your lessons in anatomy is that, diba, we always have a layer to protect us, a layer that, promotes warmth. It protects the body's vital energy. Usually fat yan. Kaya yung mga medyo may laman, matataba, hindi sila masyadong ginigilaw. Diba? Yun po yun. Kaya nga siya belief. Wala siyang scientific basis kasi. Okay? Oh, what else? Um, a warm environment, like I've mentioned, is a healthy environment now, which people, in some instances, that is not always the case. Oh, what else? Let me add on the concept of balance. Okay? Sabi nila, wag ka daw sa Pilipinas, di ba? Pag ikaw ay nagalit, magkakasakit ka. Which is, I think, partly true. Because, emotional restraint is actually a key element in restoring your balance. Kasi nowadays, mental health is, di ba, parang siyang on spotlight. And it is now proven that the state of your mental health would definitely affect your physiologic functions. Yun. So, tama naman din yung mga matatanda when they say that dapat lahat ay balanse. It just so happens that, some of their beliefs are rooted nowhere. Walang basihan. Okay? Ano ang mga pwedeng naging basihan nila? Yung mga matatanda o yung mga tao sa community dahil namamana itong mga beliefs na ito, malamang sa malamang ay naniniwala dito sa tatlong ito. Okay? We usually believe, or Filipinos usually believe, in mystical causes. Mystical causes are often attributed to experiences or behaviors such as uh, gifts or ancestral retributions, unfinished tasks or obligations. Some believe that the soul travels, gets out of your body and travels when you sleep, and if the soul does not come back, you die. Yun, mystical cause yun. Diba? Yun yung tawag nila bangungot. Or dito naman sa naturalistic causes, they believe that illnesses are from different factors from nature: thunder, lightning, wind, drafts, diba? It also says that there is a need for you to protect yourselves against the elements. For example, di ba, uso na naman yung simbang gabi. Kahit mainit sa simbahan, para makaporma ka at ma-flex mo yung bago mong sweatshirt, sa sweatshirt ka. Pero actually that is, kung biniginaw ka, that is part of protecting yourself from, naturalistic causes, yung drafts kung tawagin. Diba? Oh, what else? You also believe in personalistic causes. Pag sinabi nating personalistic causes, people, more or less this is associated with yung mga mangkukulam, mga mambabarang, na personal baga. Diba? These people, they cast a spell on you if they feel jealous or if they dislike you. Tama? So, yung mga kulam, yung mga barang, tapos mga albularyo. So, yun kasi ang mga pinaniniwalaan ng ating elderly, ng ating mga ninuno at ng ating mga nakatatanda na kung minsan ay naipapasa sa atin. Di ba? Sir, okay lang ba yan? Beliefs, people, like what I've mentioned, are held by the people as true. Okay? These particular beliefs, these particular values, what they value most, you will need to properly know them so that when you make your plan of care to take care of them, they would accept it. Kasi if it goes against the grain, if it goes against their values and beliefs, they would not adhere to your treatment plan. Okay? Oh. Now, speaking of causes, speaking of mystics, there are a lot of superstitions. The Philippines and the Filipinos are very superstitious. These are common superstitions that can relate to health. I am trying to pinpoint this because when you go to your community and they tell you this, please do not laugh at them. Okay? You need to be able to understand where is it coming from. And of course, as nurses, we need to at least try to explain to them. Kasi minsan talaga kahit anong paliwanag mo dyan, hindi yan maniniwala kasi naka-embed na yan sa culture nila. Pero as nurses, we need to make an effort in order to educate or re-educate them. Common superstitions. One, sinok. 'Pag daw sinisinok ka, lawayan mo yung buhok, 'di ba? Medyo kadiri siya. To get rid of a hiccup, you need to, place a thread of wet saliva on the forehead of the person. Um, this is one, very unhygienic, and two, it predisposes you to, you know, a lot of diseases. So as nurses, you just tell them to, hold your breath for a short time or um, sip on water or on a lemon or put pressure on your nose as you swallow. Titigil ang pagsinok. Ano ba ang cause ng sinok? Pag sobrang bilis mong hangin yan eh. Sobrang bilis mong kumain, sobrang bilis mong uminom, salita ka ng salita, ba? So, nakakain mo or na-ingest mo yung excess na hangin kaya kasi sinok. Alright? So, wag palawayan. Ha? What else? Usog. I was watching during my quarantine. Where usog. Okay? Pag sinabi nating usog, usually this is common sa bata. Diba? The concept of usog means that you have put a hex or a spell on the child that is going to make the baby um, cry non-stop. Nausog. So, ang common remedy natin dito ay nilalagyan ng laway o kaya nilalagyan ng laway ang noo o ang tiyan, which is again very unhygienic, di ba? Siguro i-explain natin na baka umiiyak, di ba? May colic o baka sobrang hangin sa tiyan ay hindi dahil nausog, kung hindi dahil one, baka hindi na-burp, di ba? Two, baka mali ang pag-feed sa kanya, mali ang pag-handle, or three, may masakit dun sa bata at hindi siya nausog. Baka naman kumuha ka pa ng antik na laway na nasa jar at lalagay para maiwasan ng usog. So wala pong ganun. Ha? O what else? Pag daw basa ang buhok mo na natulog ka, mabubulag ka. Talaga. Hindi ka po mabubulag. There is no scientific correlation of you getting blind at basa ang iyong buhok. What is sure is that the next day when you sleep with your hair wet, you will have a very bad hair day. Oo, kasi 'di ba, rubbing your wet hair against your pillow is going to cause damage or breakage. Kasi friction yun. Oh, sureable yan, bad hair day ka the next day. Pero hindi yan nakakabulag. Okay? Oh, what else? Ito common. The common misconception is pasma. Yeah? Pasma in Filipino means there is hyperhidrosis, nagiging water bender ka. Nagkakaroon ng panginginig, nagkakaroon ng numbness, minsan masakit. But to take note, one, walang English ang pasma. Don't tell me that it's a spasm. Please look up the definition of a spasm. Wala talaga siya sa English. Like, it's like VNAT. Wala siyang description sa English. Wala siyang counterpart. Okay? Maybe the symptoms, the manifestations of pasma is actually caused by other underlying illnesses, diba? Diabetes, ano pa, thyroid dysfunction, neurological or nervous system dysfunction. Pero hindi yan dahil pasmado. At least, pag sinabi niyang inihian ko na po, ay please do proper health teaching. Okay? Kung gustong ma-relieve ang symptoms, warm water with salt para ma-relieve yung hyperhidrosis kasi wherever salt goes, water follows. So more or less hindi yan mamamasa. Pero pakipigilan yan or pakisabihan pag sinabi nilang sinasalok ang ihi nila at binababad nila yung kamay o paa doon sa ihi. Kasi medyo unhygienic siya. Okay? What else? Pawis at pneumonia. Many Filipinos fear the lung disease that is pneumonia. But you will know as nurses that kahit matuyuan ka pa dyan ng pawis, diba? You know what the function of pawis is or sweat? It's to cool you down. So there is no correlation between you, okay, na matuyuan ng pawis and you having pneumonia because the pneumonia is usually caused by bacterial infection. Tama ba? Nag-MS na kayo. Bacterial infection po yan at hindi yan galing sa natuyong pawis lamang. Kahit tumapat ka sa electric fan, sa aircon, kahit pawis ka na, hindi ka magkaka-pneumonia basta. Okay? Oh. What else? Ito, epekto, baka biktima kayo nito. Di ka nalalaki. According to Filipino beliefs, if you step over a child, you could actually stunt his or her growth. Di ba? As nurses, my dear children, we well know that um, your growth and development is usually caused by many different factors. Ano po yun? Pwedeng nutrition, pwedeng genes, di ba? Pwedeng um, yung growth and development mo mismo. Pwedeng yung socio-economic status mo. Kung wala kang makain, di syempre hindi ka lalaki. Di ba? Oh. Before kasi, I heard someone, oo, pag nagbuhat daw ng mabigat, hindi na daw siya lalaki. Yung iba naman, lose-lose. Which is totoo naman, pero yun nga, pag masyado daw mabigat yung binubuhat, hindi na daw talaga siya lumalaki, na-stunt daw yung growth. Hindi po ganun yan. Okay? I remember when we were younger, the elders, mga kapitbahay, mga lolo, mga lola, they hated it when we played luksong baka or luksong tinik kasi it involved stepping over or jumping over a person. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Hindi naman yun makakaliit or hindi naman yun makaka-stunt ng growth. Diba? Mas stunt lang ang growth mo doon pag na-aksidente ka. Pag lundag mo na una ulo mo, hindi ka nalalaki kasi namatay ka na. O, pwede yun. Pero the game per se doesn't, affect your growth. It is determined by your genes, your sex, your hormones, your socioeconomic status, and your nutrition. Okay? Ito, kulugo. Kulugo, people, or warts is caused by viruses and not by the urine of the frog. Siguro it took root because when they looked at the bullfrog, the back of the bullfrog, diba, si Gamabunta, it looks like there are plenty of warts. So akala siguro nila dun galing. Pero hindi po yun totoo. At of course, yung last, di ba, asin at bahay. So they believe that when you move to a new house, you shower salt over the threshold or the front door of your new house. That is to prevent sickness. Actually, kung tatanungin nyo, hindi lang sa sickness. Sabi nila, nauna asin pa daw. Ang lahat ng kakainin mo sa bahay na yun ay may lasa. So, it also pertains to abundance. Pero ang concern natin doon ay yung sickness. Sir, bakit po? Kasi salt wards off evil spirits. And according to beliefs of Filipinos, our illnesses sometimes are caused by evil spirits. Diba? Kaya nga, natatawa ako pag nakikita ko yung sinishare ninyo ng mga memes. Like, ate, umayos ka, hindi namin yan napag-aralan. Diba yung babae nakalutang dun sa kama? Hindi daw tinuro sa kuda. Which is true naman. Diba? But, my dear children, please always be open-minded about this. Kasi, admittedly, especially here in the Philippines, especially in rural areas, there are actually some things that science would be unable to explain. There are phenomena that is weird, diba? But, if there are scientific basis, if there is evidence to suggest the fact otherwise, then we must do proper health teaching so that they would be able to, understand the things that they would need to do, okay? So that they would be able to assimilate your health teaching, okay? So that's for your culture and values. It's very short. Now I'm going to move on to the different trends of CHN, both for local and um, all over the world. So ito ay national muna, mamaya ng global. So, national. Ayan. I got this from the book of Maglaya. Okay, this actually is, I think, the same in your module. So please do check out also your module. Now, the first trend in local health, in public health, is health promotion. Okay. Nowadays they put health promotion of paramount importance. Bakit po? Kasi itong health promotion lang ang makakapagkontra sa increasing non-communicable or lifestyle-related diseases. Okay? Yun yun. Health promotion na ang dati kasi ito ang tawag natin primary. Primary tsaka secondary ito. Dati kasi tertiary. Pupunta lang yan ng center, pupunta lamang yan ng ospital pag may nararamdaman or may sakit na. Ngayon, yung ospital at yung center ay centers of wellness. Sila na ang mismong lalapit sa'yo. Bakit? Kasi napag-alaman na there is a rapid or increasing case of NCDs or non-communicable lifestyle-related diseases. Ano ang challenge natin dito sa CHN? Ang challenge natin dito is how are we going to strategize so that we would be able to perform health promotion properly and effectively for the whole community. Ang hirap-hirap kasi dahil understaffed at undermanned tayo. Tama? And in the community, there is also lack of resources. So yun ang challenge natin. So ano ang pwedeng maging options natin? Options natin dito is for us to be able to address the challenge. How? By further developing healthy settings. How are we going to do that as a CHN nurse? Makipagtulungan po tayo sa LGU. That is also part of the reason why I am asking you to properly tally your community diagnosis, because that can be used as a justification in order for you that when you face the council, the barangay captain, etc., then hindi kayo mahihirapan mag-justify kung anong gusto niyo gawin kasi nakita niyo, may objective evidence. Okay? Another trend is acute care or illness care is increasingly being delivered at home or in the community setting. Ano ang rationale nito? Ano ang basis ba't kailangang i-deliver na sa bahay? Kasi mahal. You know that in the Philippines, hospitalization is very, very important. Hindi lang actually sa Pilipinas, pati sa Amerika. Sabi nga dyan, sa States daw, by 2010, 70 to 80% of illnesses will be cared for in the home setting. In the Philippines, it is steadily increasing. The only problem for us are the lack of expertise. Okay? We lack we lack competence in taking care of the clients at home. Although in the community, we have a concept called home visit. So what are we going to need to do? We need to exploit your two-way referral system, which we have already discussed nung pang IMC5. Diba? May referral system. Kasi yun lang ang makaka-address because we are understaffed and undermanned. But in the event, in the near future, when you people graduate, you will have the expertise and the competence to give specific care in the home setting already. Okay? The third, the community nowadays, we focused on the younger generation. Sabi dyan, focused on care of population aggregates to promote healthy transition. What do we mean by that? We usually now focus on the younger generation so that when they get old, what they have learned, what they have assimilated from you is going to get passed down to the younger ones. Diba? Hindi na pa ulit-ulit kasi naituro na. Kasi ikaw mismo, tinuruan mo sila ng bata sila. Okay? So, there is now a shift from the elders to the young ones. Okay? Ano ngayon ang challenge natin dito? Kailan ito mahirap gawin? Mahirap kasi gawin to eh. Una, mahirap yan gawin if the CHN nurse lacks competence. Competence in the sense that you do not know how to organize a group. Do not know how to handle a group. Okay? Competence in such a way that you do not know how to promote your health and social services. Competence in such a way that you do not know how to use the human becoming approach. Naalala nyo pa si human becoming theory? Di ba? Itong human becoming theory is very applicable in the community setting. Bakit po? The human becoming theory, unlike your other theories in nursing which focus on your biomedical aspects, itong human becoming approach, ang sabi niyan sa atin, A human is a combination of the biological, the sociological, ano ba, the spiritual, sabi sa atin ng human becoming. Okay? And that we need to view, okay, the person, or we need to view the quality of life of the person in their own lens. Ano ba ang magandang buhay sa kanila? Ano ba ang kalusugan para sa kanila? Hindi yung nanggagaling sa'yo, dapat manggaling sa kanila. Yun yung human becoming approach. Okay? Dapat they need to view it in their own perspective and not coming from you as a. Yun ang challenge natin. How are we going to, view the different perspective of the client versus what you know and what you studied as a nurse. Kasi kung minsan yung magandang buhay para sa pasyente ay hindi magandang buhay sa isip ninyo. Ganon din sa kalusugan. Ang magandang kalusugan para sa kanila, ang ideal na kalusugan para sa kanila, ay taliwas sa alam ninyo. Ganon siya. Okay? Uh, those are your local trends. Okay? Now, the WHO, because of these trends, gave us the top 10 threats to global health. Okay, this is fairly self-explanatory. You have been tackling this from all your other subjects, from all your other lessons, and here in CHN as well. But let me name them from you. What are the 10 threats to global health? Una, okay, according to the WHO, climate change and air pollution is the greatest environmental health risk. Diba? Kaya nga dun sa inyong um, community diagnosis, titignan nyo din yung kung may pollutants ba dyan. Diba? Bakit po? Because microscopic pollutants would definitely affect your respirations. It's gonna cause damage to your lungs pag naman pumasok sa brain or heart, di ba? Usually, the pollutants come from burning of fossil fuels. That is the reason why there are now initiatives to ban, okay, fossil fuels, diesel, gasolina. Kaya nga sa ibang countries, they are now promoting the use of electric transportation, the use of um, human-powered transport like bicycle, okay, or just walking. Yeah, because definitely burning of fossil fuels will uh, aggravate air pollution. Okay, another threat are non-communicable diseases. Okay, non-communicable diseases are silent killers. 70% of all deaths worldwide are caused by non-communicable lifestyle-related diseases. So, as nurses people, remember, tobacco, sedentary lifestyle, alcohol, pangit na diet at air pollution. Those are going to predispose you to non-communicable diseases. There is also a study, or there are studies that have been done already that directly correlate mental health issues, okay, to non-communicable diseases. So, yun po. Kasi nga, di ba, kung kunyari may mental health issues ka, you don't take care of your body anymore. So your physiologic functioning is going to suffer if your mental status is compromised. Yun po yun. Kaya mahalaga talaga yung mental health. Kaya dapat hindi yan ginagaslight. Okay? What else? Bakit ba dumadami ang instance ng non-communicable diseases sa Pilipinas? It's simple, because of urbanization. Dati, people are more active and they go outdoors. But because of rapid urbanization, we usually fear for our safety. Diba? Kumaya nagja-jogging ka, bigla ka nalang saksakin, hold upin, banggain ka ng motor. Diba? So, yun po yun. What else? The park, the places that we used to go to exercise, to walk around, you know, to get fresh air, are now being converted to um, subdivisions, malls, etc. So nawawalan po tayo ng lugar because of rapid urbanization. Yun din naman po ang nagiging problema natin. Okay? What else? Um, Pandemics, especially global influenza pandemics. As you well know, people, I think this is a very common, di ba? Um, happening nowadays. The WHO tries actually to protect us from pandemics. That's the reason why they watch out for a lot of disease that have the potential to be a global pandemic. And usually this includes influenza. So the best way to get protected from a global influenza pandemic is of course to get flu vaccines. Diba? Kasi ito pong flu ay napakabilis kumalat. Oh, like yung COVID yung ngayon, di ba? Oh, pag airborne yan, sobrang bilis yan kumalat. So, we are now at risk or we have a threat for another global influenza pandemic. And of course, people, we also have threats from vulnerable and fragile settings. Ano po yung vulnerable or fragile settings? These are places, these are people that have crisis. Usually, it's brought about by problems. Like for example, nawalan ng trabaho, may may taggutom, di ba? Famine, may gera like sa Ukraine. So na-displace ang karamihan sa population nila. The problem with fragile and vulnerable settings is that people suffer, especially the children, because they don't have access to health services or the health services become so weak that they cannot take care of the needs of the people anymore. That is the reason why the WHO aims to strengthen health systems so that, they are better prepared to address fragile and vulnerable settings. Kaya nga nagpapadala usually yan ng mga aid, nagpapadala yan ng mga gamot, bakuna, tao, etc. Because they try to aim to strengthen the health system. Okay? Uh, Now, you had your micro, you had your MS, and you well know that this is becoming a reality already. This is a sad reality that a lot of those diseases, those organisms that we have the ability to cure are now becoming resistant to the medication. Example, TB, um, gonorrhea, malaria, ayan, HIV. Nagiging ano na siya, nagiging resistant na siya sa medication, 'di ba? So, part of your responsibility when you become nurses is to properly instruct them. How are they going to drink their medication? Kasi they need to be able to, uh, adhere to the treatment regimen so that we are going to prevent antimicrobial resistance. Kasi bagets, pag dumating ang panahon na lahat yan ay antibiotic resistant na, nagkakaroon tayo ng prolonged hospital stay. Pag prolonged ang hospital stay, matik yan, mas mahal. Diba? What else? If the medications do not or if the organisms do not respond to medications anymore, paano na lang yung mga tao sa intensive care unit? They are going to suffer. Those people who are going to undergo major or minor surgeries are also going to get compromised because, di ba, prophylactic antibiotic ang binibigay usually sa kanila. Eh kung antibiotic resistant na yan, bali wala na yung prophylaxis mo. So there is a high possibility for them to contract yung microorganisms na yun. Diba? So yon ang threat ng antimicrobial resistance. Oh, what else? Another threat is yung mga emerging high virulence pathogens like Ebola. You know, Ebola, people, kung hindi siguro nagkaroon ng COVID-19 pandemic, malamang itong naging pandemya. That's the reason why during the pandemic, they, kasi may pandemic pa din. During the early days of the pandemic, the WHO is actually watching out for Ebola also. Kasi dumadami ang cases. So yun po yung sinasabi natin. The WHO is or keeps a watch list or there are watch list priorities of emerging pathogens that have the capacity or that have the ability to infect everybody worldwide. Okay? Uh, What else? Um, we also have a weak primary healthcare system because when this was discussed earlier, di ba, primary healthcare, this is not only adopted by the Philippines, this is also adopted by other countries as well. And admittedly, during the when the pandemic was raging, it showed the lack of resources. It showed the shortcomings of the healthcare system. Those rich countries that did not adopt primary healthcare were unable to address the needs of their citizenry properly. Sa Europe, di ba, na-overwhelm sila. That's the reason why the WHO would want to strengthen again the adaptation of primary health care in all facilities. Okay? Another threat, vaccine hesitancy. O ano ba yan? Kung nursing ka, tapos anti-vaxxer ka, huwag ka na po dito ha. Bakit? You should not be anti-vaxxers because a lot of people, admittedly, are still anti-vaxxers. One, because they are complacent that they won't get the disease. Two, it's rather inconvenient for them to fall in line to get their shot. And three, sometimes they lack the confidence doon sa nag-a-administer ng vaccine. Wag naman po sana ang maging dahilan yung lack of confidence sa inyong healthcare providers. Diba? Because as healthcare workers in the future, we need to, be the most trusted advisors. We need to be the influencers, especially on decisions related to vaccinations. Kaya dapat alam nyo ang dosage, ang interval, ang routes, etc. Okay? Another threat, and this is especially during the Philippines people, is dengue. Di ba? I think I've mentioned during the first lessons that dengue, we are on the watch list of the WHO because of the high cases of dengue that we register, especially during the dengue season. Okay? Although there is already a vaccine for dengue, it does not cover all the strains. Okay? Yung dengue siya ninyo. Okay? So, mataas. Kaya nila inilabas yung dengue siya dito sa Pilipinas ng libre. Mind you, sa ibang bansa may bayad po yun. Dito sa atin, libre po yun. But, there, like all medications, it has side effects and it has gotten bad rap in paano to? Publications. Di ba? It has gotten bad press already. Kaya, pansinin niyo, ang dami-dami pa ding nadidengue. Alam niyo, nung nagbigayan ng dengue siya, bumagsak ang cases natin sobre. Just so happened that it got bad press kasi may siguro mga unforeseen na effect yung bakuna dun sa mga bata. Okay? Next, HIV. Ito pa isa. We are under threat of HIV because the challenge here is how to reach out those people that are exposed and yet exclude themselves from health services. Like, yan, sex workers. Hindi naman yan basta-basta magpapacheck up hanggat hindi o walang nararamdaman. Di ba? Mga tao na nakakulong, mga um, men who have sex with other men, mga transgender people. Di ba? So, ang nagiging problema dito is how to reach out to them. Kaya nga ang ginagawa ngayon, ang ating trust, ang ating focus ngayon is the younger generation. So we start them early. We teach them how to properly protect themselves against sexually transmitted infections, especially HIV. Okay? So those are the trends and the challenges that community health nursing is facing nowadays. Now, in order for us to properly perform what is needed during our duty when we become community health nurses, we need to acquire competency. Okay? Pag sinabi nyo competence, what is competence? Competence is simply the application of knowledge, okay, to your decision making, to your psychomotor functioning in the context of public health, safety, and welfare. That is my definition for the community. Whereas nursing competency people just means that those are core abilities. These are abilities that you should have gotten when you were in nursing school, when you were studying different courses, when you were trying to finish the program. Yun po ang competency. Dito po sa College of Nursing, actually sa lahat ng College of Nursing, you are going to need to acquire 14 competencies. Okay? These are the different 14 competencies. Ito yan eh. When you take up a course, pag sinabi natin course, yung subject nyo, kaya dito CHN2, okay, you are going to acquire different competencies here. Okay? When you finish the program, pag sinabi natin program, yung BSN, you should have acquired everything. Oh. Kasi one course is sometimes not enough to teach you the 14 competencies. But lagi namin yang ini-incorporate pag kami ay nagde-design at gumagawa ng inyong mga lesson at ang inyong syllabus. Dahil kailangan po yan sa inyong curriculum. Ano po ba yung 14 na yun? I'm not going to go into this because this is very self-explanatory. 14 po yan. 1, sabi dyan, you need to apply knowledge of physical, social, natural, health sciences, and humanities in the practice of nursing. If you have listened to one of the seminars that were held, one of the speaker, sabi niya, we need ancillary knowledge in order to practice nursing. Pag sinabi natin ancillary, these are not nursing subjects, but these are subjects, even if they are not nursing, would help you give out nursing care. Anatomy, physiology, microbiology, microparasitology, pharmacology. Hindi naman yan hindi naman yan sagad nursing. But you need to have knowledge of that so that you are going to be effective nurses in the future. Diba? So what else? You are doing your duty so that you could learn how to perform safe, appropriate, and holistic nursing care. You do case presentations so that you apply evidence-based practice. Okay? When we ask you to make case presentations, it's not to make your life harder. What we are trying to do is to inculcate in you the different evidence-based practices, the different literature, so that when the time comes that you are going to have your duty in the area, then you can apply those particular concepts that you have learned. Diba? What else? You need to learn how to practice nursing in accordance with existing laws. The nursing law, for example, which gives us the scope and the practice of nursing, which you will be taking up in 4th year. O, diba? Now, this is a given. We would want you to communicate effectively in all aspects, including speaking, writing, and presentation. Because you are going to need that when you want to become good nurses. Kaya nga, kahit special examinations, we ask you to write a formal letter because those are part or supposed to be part of your competencies. They taught you proper documentation and making nurses notes because you would need to report and document client care accurately and comprehensively. Okay? In your duty and in the classroom also, we would want you to collaborate because you are going to be dealing with multidisciplinary and multicultural teams in the future. Oh. In your 4th year, I'm going to ask you to make or organize your own seminar. And each and every one of you will have a part to play because you must exhibit or practice beginning management and leadership skills. Your NRES 1 subject is going to ask you to conduct a research. Sir, pwede bang walang advisor? Hindi, because the competency needed is that you perform your research with an experienced researcher. Who is your advisor? Diba? We often urge you to join seminars because we would want you to engage in lifelong learning. And usually those seminars are part of those. Of course, since we are Filipinos, we demonstrate pride in being Filipinos. In the future, it is expected that you learn techno-intelligent systems. That's the reason why part of your module, by next week, I'm going to be discussing about e-health because those are part of techno-intelligent care systems. And their application in my subject or in my area or in my field, which is CHN. What else? We uphold the nursing core values and we apply entrepreneurial skills if applicable. So most probably when you finish nursing, you should have these 14 basic competencies. How are we going to apply it? A very good example. Tingnan nyo tong slide. Okay. Yung isa, yung number one, sabi doon, apply knowledge of physical, social, natural sciences. So, paano mo yan i-apply? Kunyari, may pasyente kang may TB. Paano mo malalaman na may TB siya kasi presumptive TB pa lang? You use what you have learned in HA and in Funda. Yun yun, application. Okay? Diba? Yun yung task nyo. Alright? Bakit? Ba't nyo kailangan i-apply yun? Because in the future, one of your roles is going to be a care provider. And when you do this task, you perform your role as a care provider to help abate the increasing number of TB patients. Ganun po yun. Kaya mahalaga na competent ka. Diba? Be a competent nurse. Mahalaga na may kaalaman ka. For example, ito, communicate effectively when speaking. Why is it that we are very particular with how you communicate? Because one of your tasks is to perform health teaching. For example, you did health teaching and taught them antibiotic resistance. Di ba? This is going to play a role in you becoming a very good nurse or CHN nurse because this is going to pave the way for you to become very good health educators. And as you well know, health education, di ba? Your number one responsibility as nurses is the promotion of health to prevent illness. Yun ang kahalagahan ng 14 na competencies na dapat po ninyong mapulot sa mga subjects ninyo at sa nursing school. Okay? So these are my references. As usual, it's Maglaya, Nursing Practice in the Community, 5th edition. Do you have questions?